So I'll be honest here. I'm not so sure about all this news when it comes to the Superman test screening. I'm not. I don't think that it is reliable. I don't think that it is actually a real source of information. And quite frankly, I don't think it matters. And I might be alone there. I know there are some people who are saying that it had really good test screenings. I know there are some people who are saying that it had pretty bad test screenings. Some people said that it looks like Guardians of the Galaxy, which honestly, I think many people probably would have thought would have been the case anyway because it's James Gunn. Who cares? All I know is that I don't think this is something that should affect the marketing of Superman and how we view Superman and how it is supposed to be coming forward or moving forward, if you will. Superman needs to be looked at in a different way. I think a lot of people are now in agreement when it comes to that. And if you aren't, that's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But we are 10 years removed from Man of Steel. We are however many years removed from Henry Cavill Superman now. And I love, again, anyone who knows me and knows this channel knows I am a staunch defender of Man of Steel. But we are years removed from that movie character of Henry Cavill playing Superman. David Cornsweet's in there. It is his time now. It is James Gunn's time now. We have to see what he's going to do with it. But I always get kind of antsy a little bit when it comes to marketing that is based off of other people's test screenings, if you will. Now, is it something that is the same as reviews? No, because usually when it comes to a review, people will see the actual finished product. But in a test screening, in many cases, at least way more than usual, you're not actually seeing a finished product. You're seeing something that still has some tweaks to make. You might be seeing something that has some CGI to finish. You might be seeing something where dialogue needs to be inputted or outputted. You might be seeing something that hasn't had its cuts yet. I know, I've seen test screenings before. So there are many different things that could end up changing drastically when it comes from a movie test screening to when the movie actually releases. That's not uncommon. That's not out of the blue. We've had actual movies before in the past that have had poor test screenings and then have done extremely well. And we've had movies that had excellent test screenings that have done extremely poorly. So this, I feel like, isn't or shouldn't be a barometer of success. That being said, it does make you wonder a little bit with some of the things that have been said. The Guardians of the Galaxy comparisons seem to be out there. I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. And honestly, I look at it as, of course, the Guardians of the Galaxy comparisons are going to be out there. He made 3 of those movies, right? Like, it's not a situation where it was just like, all right, well, this is just one movie that was made, or, we had to pull something from his filmography in order to like make that comparison, which we know is going to happen anyway, right? Like David Cornsweet's going to be compared to Henry Cavill for Superman. But James Gunn made 3 pretty successful, in fact, probably one of the more successful trilogies within the MCU. He made all 3 of them. All of them did extremely well, especially that last one. And they had great payoffs, and it just worked for what he was trying to do. Of course, we're going to pull from Guardians of the Galaxy. It's the most recent, biggest thing from James Gunn to pull from. Peacemaker, being a show and all that. But I more so look at all the things that are coming out about the Superman movie like this. There is limited context when it comes to what's happened with some of these test screenings. And everything else that has happened before has been praised. There's been mixed in terms of like what we think in terms of how things might look, or maybe the suit, or maybe even some of the music or visuals. But for the most part, they have been praised. We've gotten a good situation when it came to the poster. We've gotten a good situation when it came to the trailer. We've gotten a good situation when it comes to just the look of David Cornsweet as Superman. I think those are the things that we have to look at as this is what we know to be true for right now. Not somebody else's test screenings where things weren't finished, especially when the test screenings have limited context. We don't know what was or wasn't finished. There are rumors, that the VFX wasn't finished. There are rumors that they do have to cut some stuff, but this is not something that, and I don't think it will, but sometimes it can affect people because headlines and things like that do affect people. We've seen that happen in the past. But this is one of those situations where this should almost entirely be ignored, in my opinion. It shouldn't matter. It really shouldn't. It does not actually do anything when it comes to what Superman looks like it's going to be, and it doesn't seem like it's going to do anything in terms of what James Gunn is trying to achieve. It just seems like maybe he tried to leave certain things in, maybe he wanted to test certain things out, and it just maybe may have boded well or not as well with a very, very specific section of that audience who saw it. But we don't even know who the audience is. Are the audience comic book fans? Are they Superman fans? Are they judging it harshly? Are they judging it on a curve? It could be anything. And one thing to know about test screenings is that test screenings en masse usually prefer the safer route, usually prefer the traditional style of filmmaking. And let's be honest, when all of us saw that trailer, there were many of us who were like, whoa, this kind of looks a little bit different. This seems a little bit off because of some of the camera visuals, because of some of the angles and some of the formats that seem to be used. So imagine showing all of that and trying to be creative with this franchise that you want to separate from Zack Snyder's Superman, and quite frankly, that you want to separate from pretty much every other Superman, and then kind of showing that to people who might be used to giving more of a traditional look at some of these movies when it comes to these test screenings. It's probably not going to go well. And even if it does, it might be used or looked at in a way that looks like something that is your previous project, hence Guardians of the Galaxy 3, because that's something that people could recognize. We tend to usually go with something that is consensus when it comes to how we look at things sometimes. A la, I don't really know where to place this or how to look at this. So what is something that seemingly you have done before that I can kind of match with this? Hence the James Gunn's Guardians of the Galaxy comparison. So in effect, I think this is something that should be exactly what it is. Passing news, and then we just call it a day. James Gunn Superman is already going to have a crazy microscope on it from basically right now to when it comes out. From comparisons to Zack Snyder's Superman, to comparisons to Guardians of the Galaxy and that style of filmmaking, to even comparisons of Marvel and things that are going to happen there. We're going to look at the trailers. We're going to look at any promotional items that come out. We're probably even going to look at the toys. So we might as well let that be the thing that helps determine how we feel about it, not somebody's random test screening, because ultimately, a lot of the times, those are wrong.